I've got some brand new detailing moves to show you today. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a Matchbox Hudson Hornet. It's a 1951 vintage. It's brand new out of the blister pack, so I don't have anything to complain about. Rather, let me draw your attention to the beautiful lines on this one. What a great era of auto design that was, when cars were pieces of art. This is my entry to the Diecast International Builders Cars of the 50s Invitational. I'm looking forward to seeing all the builds in this one because, although it predates me by a decade, these were the cars that were on the road when I was a young boy, and I have strong memories of them. I drilled out both of the posts in the same fashion that I do for every other car that's on the bench for our customization. This has blue glass, in a tan interior with two gigantic benches for seats. They were the size of sofas back in the day, and seat belts weren't even an option. As is common, there are little plastic tabs holding the axles in. At this point in the game, I think I'm going to hang on to these tires and reuse them because they fit the Hornet and the era. Lots of detailing possibilities on the plastic chassis. The rear tires are actually hidden by a skirt on this model. Everything's into the basket now, and I move on to the paint stripping booth with the ventilator running and a mask on myself and a window open on a fine spring day. My paint stripper takes it down to bare metal in a matter of minutes. There are a few stubborn spots left, but I'll go to work on those right now. The bare metal detail begins with a wire attachment on my rotary tool. Takes off any of the toning that might be left behind there, and it's a good first step towards getting things ready for primer and paint. Now mine was a police car, so it's got lights and sirens on the roof, and I don't want those. I'm not going to do a cop car. So very carefully, on pretty high speed, with a titanium burr tool, you can see how soft the die-cast metal is. Just be real careful, this is goggle time for eye protection. I incrementally remove those. They're all parts of the casting. This leaves a few gouges behind, so I take care of it with a little bit of spot putty, and that's got to sit overnight before I sand it down with increasingly finer wet-dry sandpaper grits. Decrease it and into the primer for a white base coat. I'm on my last few days of an excellent Canadian visit with family and friends. We're flying back to Switzerland this weekend, but you'll see these cars coming up on Saturday uploads on Maple Leaf Customs, including the Outlaw Speed Shop 2024 Custom Diecast Invitational Plymouth GTX. All of these cars were actually finished and uploaded in advance of my leaving for the Canadian trip so that I could go away and have a vacation without any hobbies, stress, or worries. But I'm looking forward to getting back to the bench. I've mixed up my own ivory paint using Vallejo Premium White predominantly, with a couple of drops of yellow in it and some thinner. It goes right into my airbrush, and with a 0.5 needle goes on beautifully well. I put a couple of coats on there, and this is just a few moments later. What a beautiful shine. Great start to what will be a two-tone paint job. Today's community shoutout goes to Jeff Scott and his YouTube channel called Papa's Diecast Customs and Restoration. I've left a link in the description for you to follow so we can help Jeff get those numbers pumped up and get another hobby community member some much deserved recognition. Thanks for doing that. I've done some very careful masking using Tamiya brand masking tape, leaving the roof and the bottom half of the body exposed for this sort of a pastel green paint application. So I mixed that up myself as well. I usually spray a couple of shots onto a plastic spoon to see if it's exactly what I wanted, and this is bang on. That looks good. I save a little bit of extra because there's often a couple of tiny touch-ups that need to be done, especially if something goes wrong at this step of unmasking. Here's a tip while you watch me do this. After the ivory coat, or whatever your base coat is, if you're doing a two-tone, clear coat the base coat. Let that set up overnight before you mask, so that when you're taking off the Tamiya tape, you shouldn't have any peel away. I've got a couple of tiny overspray spots here, so that's where I use my touch-up paint. Now for what might be a new detailing move for some of you, how to apply the perfect chrome strip highlights down the side of your car. I could never paint something so small and straight and perfect by hand. I came across this decorative fingernail tape on Amazon a little while ago. Look, I've got 20 or 30 different colors here. And one of them, which will last me forever, is a brilliant chrome that's just what I need for the Hornet. Check out the shine on that. I don't know what the ladies do with this on their fingernails, don't ask me. This is what I use it for on the side of a car. I love shopping in the beauty aisle, by the way. Now it's got a little bit of stick to it, enough that you can lay it down in shape and work some basic curves. I didn't have to go too tight on the Hornet. Press it into place. What do you think of that? I'm going to have to clear coat this like you would with your decals to make sure it sticks, but that's the look I'm going for, and you'll see at the end how it turns out. Now I flip over the chassis, and with one of my finest paintbrushes and some Molotow chrome from a refill bottle, I can paint the exhaust and the mufflers and the oil pan, the differential. This has been nicely detailed by Matchbox on the bottom. I enjoy this part of customizing a car and taking it a step further than the original manufacturer. These old cars from the 50s were chrome, chrome, chrome on the front. I had sprayed my chassis black, so I need to go back and re-chrome the front like this. Wow, that stands out nicely. Channel logo, there's lots of room on the bottom of this big boat, and some matching color green on some of the undercarriage parts. And I'm already at the reassembly stage. That went quickly. While you watch all the customized parts go back together, I can tell you that the Hudson Hornet is a full-size car manufactured by Hudson Motor Car Company of Detroit, Michigan from 1951 until 1954, when Nash-Kelvinator and Hudson merged to form American Motors Corporation. Hudson automobiles continued to be marketed under the Hudson brand name through the 1957 model year. The first generation Hornets featured a functional step-down design with dropped floor pan and a chassis with a lower center of gravity than contemporary vehicles that helped the car handle well, an advantage for racing too. The Hornet's lower and sleeker look was accentuated by streamlined styling. I'm glad I got a hold of this casting because I really am fond of it, and I think it turned out real well. Leave a respectful comment below and tell me what you think of this customization job and what you might have done with such a beautiful car. Mine's all finished. Does it roll? Beautifully. Let's have a closer look. Those are the original wheels. The front ones are clearly prominent. The back ones are partially hidden behind the side skirts. I think the chrome side molding stands out the most in this custom job. Lots of detail on the bottom. I like the two-tone color combo, which is period correct. Even though this was a nicely done police version originally, I wanted to do away with the lights and the sirens and turn the cruiser into a Sunday cruiser like this. Tell me if you remember these land yachts, or if there's still one in your area. Look at all the chrome up front. The little red dot is the Hornet badge. Taillights are done up as well. It really was a beautiful car for its time. Can you imagine learning how to parallel park in one of these things? I'm putting this into a custom package, and it's going to be given away personally to one of my college buddies and longtime friend. He's coming all the way to New Brunswick to visit with me. James is a lover of all the old classics. The bigger the better. So he'll appreciate this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for visiting my channel again today. Drive carefully. It's coffee time.